Okay, we're live. Welcome, welcome. Hello, ladies. This is Taylor Thompson coming to you live here in the She Network, where we're sharing her excellence today. And this is Tuesdays with Taylor, and I have my beautiful guest, as you can see, Miss Giselle Villarreal. Is that right?
Yes.
You got a long name. I was like, okay, if I remember just the first and the last, it would be but there's a Dominique, blah, 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 something. I don't know.
Giselle Dominique-Interview Villarreal. Yes.
Okay. So anyway, so I got the first and the last part right. So yes, yay me. Okay, ladies, as you're coming on, please say hi. We want to say hello. We want to hear where you're coming in from. And we also want to see if this is your first time on, please drop a 1 and let us know that. If this is your replay, please push #replay. And so we're super happy to have you here. Miss Giselle, how are you today? Please tell us about you and your story.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here, and thank you for inviting me. Oh my gosh. So I don't know, because we're meeting for the first time right now. So I love what you're doing. I just want to say that, because bringing women together to have each other, to lift each other up, to champion each other is something that's probably one of the most powerful things. I am Giselle Mascareñas Villarreal. I don't ever really use my husband's last name. I use it on Facebook just because, to give him, some credit. But
I love it.
I also am a leader of a women's group. We have about 30,000 members, so it's pretty amazing. So I get this whole She network. I love it. I am a branding coach. How I became a branding coach is literally seeing the shift in communication. We have come along. I'm 48 years old, and I remember holding the phone with the long cord. Like I was that teenager. Yeah. I mean, think about how far we've come. Like, oh my gosh, this is more powerful than the computers during Reagan. Your phone. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. But my passion has always been, with this shift, people aren't being seen and understood. People are being judged immediately. There's this polarization that's happening. And so my entire purpose is to make sure that people understand that their voice, their authentic truth, is the most powerful voice on social platforms. And how I got here, you guys, it's been many, many lives. So I don't even know where you want me to start, other than, let me just tell you that I sit in my truth. I sit in my definition of success, coming from leaving my ex-husband with $30 in my pocket, not knowing what the freak I was going to do, being super lost and super broken, but super free. So it's very.
So let's just talk about that, because I mean, let's go back to that moment, those moments. And there's always those catalysts and how you got there, because I always think that it's the journey that creates you to be the human that you are now. It it didn't happen to you before you. So, but let's go back to that. I mean, let's, because you just didn't arrive overnight. You just didn't drop you off and, okay, here you are, you're amazing. And,
Yeah. No.
Road.
Thank you. What happens to us, I think, as women, especially our generation, I see my daughter's generation, she's just turned 18, and they're so emotionally intelligent. They are tapped into their emotions. They will share what they're passionate about. What they won't use a certain deodorant because they're cruel to animals. Like, I learned so much from that generation because they're emotionally intelligent. However, our generation was taught to, if they have a title, if they are your husband, if you just stay quiet, you suppress what you really feel or who you really want to be, because society or whatever, church, or it doesn't matter. It doesn't accept it. We're always in a box. Yeah. So I found myself in a box from the outside, driving the luxurious cars, people thinking that, wow, look at her. It's so flashy. It's so amazing. Being bar owners, nightclub owners. We were very popular in our area, but being so absolutely miserable, not wanting to get out of bed every single day for 10 years. And it started 6 months into my marriage.
Wow.
and think about what we do. No longer will I do. Like, people thought something of me, and I stayed quiet and was like, yeah, you know, of course, not being seen, not being understood, not being having to be fake, having to pretend that it was amazing, life is amazing, and going home and just going, is this my life for the rest of my life? Like, is this it? And so fast forward 10 years, having the strength to just go, I'm done. And you're, oh, really? You're done? Well, you're done with nothing. And I was like, not a problem. I will leave with nothing. Absolutely nothing. I was able to, he canceled all the accounts, like got me out of the account. I had $30 in my pocket. I had a Tahoe. So I stuffed, I knew I wasn't going to ever be able to come back. So I stuffed art. I'm an art fanatic. So I was like, I got my art pieces, what I could fit into the Tahoe. And I drove off to my mom's, and I ended up living with my mom at, how old was I? 34 years old.
Wow. Now, did you have children at the time?
Yeah. So my babies went with me, and my daughter was 5 years old at the time. And as I was driving her to her dad's, probably 3 months into leaving him, she told me very clearly, you left. I didn't want to leave. So I don't want to live with you. I want to live with him. I want to live in my home. And me going, you know, he's a great, crazy enough, awful husband, amazing father. So me going, okay, you have that right. You can do, he loves you. He's a great father. And crying for, until she was 12, she was 5, because at 12, she came back to me. At 12, she was like, I want to be with you. And then that was it. Thank the Lord, baby Jesus, because that was the hardest thing that's ever happened to me. Me not tucking her in at night, me not taking her to school in the morning.
I can relate to this.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But I have 3 girls.
Oh, that just hurt me in my heart, because that is the most painful thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Well, they didn't, theirs wasn't a choice. It was a custody battle. Anyway, that's, I could write a book on mine, but you know, I get the pain of that at that age. Yes. But mine, you know, God redeems all that time, and it all worked out. So I don't want this to be about me. I want this to be about you.
Oh, so. I know. But I just know, like, all of a sudden I'm like, wow, you've overcome a lot.
Yeah. So you had, so your daughter, so what did you do? Like, so you're now having to like restart your whole life, like reformulate, you know, how does that?
You know, Taylor, the thing is that I'm well known in my region, really well known. And I was well known back then. And immediately when people started to find out, I'm talking about immediately, I was talking about days, that people found out that I had left. I got a phone call from he's probably the wealthiest person south of San Antonio. So I live on the border of Texas and Mexico. We're probably, 200 miles or whatever from San Antonio. And I got a call from this very powerful man. He said, look, because he owns everything, hotels, hospitals, banks. And he said, I have a restaurant. And of course I knew the restaurant. And he was like, I need you to turn the lights on. Remember, FYI, like owning nightclubs, understanding marketing, branding, all that stuff. I knew like I could, like, creating events. Like I did that. That was like, that's just my DNA. Right. Like, and so he said, I need you to turn the lights on, because even though like my doctors and stuff are coming for lunch, nobody's coming at night. They're only coming because I'm here and they want to like talk to me or do business or whatever. And I need you to come and help me. Like I said, okay, fine. Paid me very well. So overnight, from having $30 in my pocket, I made $120,000, in salary. But it was like, people, you don't know that people are watching, and they do see you, right? Sometimes maybe they don't really understand. They just know you've got something, right? You've got something. And so I was able to prove myself really quickly that it wasn't my ex-husband that made me. It was me. I had it. And I was very fortunate that God literally was like, all right, girl, now I'm giving this to you. What are you going to do with it? And I worked 18-hour days. I was like, I am going to make a name for myself. And it kind of started there. And so, he's very powerful. Overnight, it looked like I turned the lights on, but honestly, it was just strategic moves with nonprofits, building those connections to use the space that he had to raise awareness for causes that were super important to our community, because we're from a very poor community. And that's kind of how I got started. And he was my client, and then I got other clients, and then I wanted to do something really fantastic outside of where people knew me, where people didn't know me. Because honestly, I was like, is it just easy because I'm known? So if I pick up a phone or I create an event, people just come?
Yeah.
I didn't see what I'm made of. So I literally went an hour away from here and was like, there was this beautiful, it's called Rio Grande City. And there was this beautiful downtown that was a ghost town, like dilapidated buildings, but it was beautiful. And I was like, of course, in my head, I was like, I'm going to revitalize all of downtown. And nobody knew me. And I happened to meet the mayor, who ends now in my husband.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yes. And guess what? We did revitalize downtown, but it had nothing to do with just me. It had obviously a huge team, but that passion, that excitement, and that, but that's a whole other story, because even though I did so many things, I was the most hated first lady ever.
Why?
Like cyberbullying, because I was an outsider.
Oh.
I mean, awful. Like 4 years in, I told my husband, okay, you finish your term, you finish what you want to do. I'm going to go buy a house. I'm going to move back home where I actually am loved, because this is horrible. And it was just it was a really loud group of people that were relentless. And even though my husband is he's a saint, he's such a beautiful man, and he really gave me peace, and he really helped me understand, block and delete, ignore that. We're doing great things, and that's why. Yeah. They're mad they didn't think about it. They're mad that you come in and you shine a light on things that people ignored. We're driving by and just ignored. And so we did amazing things together. I'm obsessed. My husband and I have been together 13 years, and I'm literally obsessed with that human. He is the best thing ever. So God blessed me there too. I mean, I paid my dues, I paid my dues from the hell of my last marriage.
I love it. I'm on the same page as that too.
Yeah,
so yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're always taken care of if we live in our truth. We're always taken care of.
I love it. So, I mean, whenever you are in this place, I mean, first of all, being bullied, I certainly understand that one as well.
That's what is happening here?
Not so much as an adult, but I mean, I did experience that kind of the same concept. So how did you keep that from impacting your relationship with him, and how did you keep that from him? Because basically you're giving him an ultimatum, this or me, kind of. I mean, right?
No,
he wanted.
I'm going to tell you, I've learned so much from him and watching him be an amazing leader. He would always say one thing that he would always say: don't bleed over every hill. When you're going to go up to battle, know that you're willing to lose it all for it. So be real careful about what battles you're willing to bleed over, because some you may lose it all for. And so I would always, and then second, social media was really I am an avid social media user. I understand the power in it. He is my biggest achievement. He ended up on the Discovery Channel being an expert of the border because he would just listen to me. I'm like, as a public servant, you share everything. You do not work. You work for 22,000 people. It was a small town. So you work for 22,000 people. Remember that. And social media, you have the ability to do something. He changed the way people do things. Our own governor does things differently because of the way he would show up on social media. But anyway, that's where a lot of this, it was all cyberbullying. It was every day. It was relentless. And what was so beautiful is that immediately he taught me, he goes, Giselle, you don't know it's happening. You don't feel it if you just block and delete and you don't allow anybody to tell you. And so like I learned that early on. This happened severely for 3 years. And I would tell my friends when they were like, oh my God, I would say, look, if you're reading it, that means you're enjoying it. And if you're enjoying it, that means we're not friends, because you can't hurt for me, but read it, keep going back for more. So you're not allowed to tell me it. And if you're reading it, I really like for you to just stay away from me. And that's what started to happen. And so I was shielding myself from it and being able to still focus on the work that we were doing, building a Boys and Girls Club, building an art walk, revitalizing the downtown buildings. Of course, we did it as a team. There was a lot of people behind it, but that was our vision, and we were able to do it.
Wow. And so, okay, so then that unfolds for you. Then what happens? Like,
when I move,
yeah,
you were like asking me.
Yeah.
So my thing about my husband and I is that because of the relationships we had been in before, he was in a marriage for 18 years. He has 4 men, children, and we always respected, even though we were both in volatile relationships, we always respected the parent of our children, right? And so we had learned so much from that. We had decided that we're going to still be individuals, even though we're a couple. So if we love each other, we're always going to know that whatever we're doing, it's for the good of our family.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also for the good of our soul. Like if we are going to live our truth, sometimes that might not be together at times.
Yeah.
In that moment that I left, he knew I couldn't take one more day. I couldn't. And so he's like, fine. He's like, I'm not going to finish my term, but I'm going to finish my bucket list. Once I finish my bucket list for the city, I will resign. And he did.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So, okay. So then so that brought you back together. So then how did you, what does he do now? How do you guys work together? What does that look like? And how did you get to this place right here?
Well, we've always been each other's partners since day one of being in each other's lives. So me building my firm, he's always helped. And then when he left, he ran for Congress, he lost. And then he was trying to find his way through what he wanted to do, but always helping me. So if I had huge events, if I had whatever I was having, he was always there with me, helping me. So he started to learn the business. Now he's a huge part of my business. Like I wouldn't have grown to the size that I am without him, but he has a servant heart. So we had a little city, it's called La Jolla, and you can research it, La Jolla, Texas. It is one of the most corrupt areas that exist, I think, in the nation. And it's unfortunate because these people are good people and that live there, but they're very poor. So he saw a need in the housing district. They were like, HUD was going to basically shut it down because they were just stealing.
You do know I'm a Texas girl, right?
Yes, she told me. Tina told me. So you know where La Jolla is?
I know where it is. My stomping ground, I was a West Texas girl. So I'm up in the, Panhandle area, and now I'm in Dallas. So,
I love that. I go all the time. My girlfriend Aisa lives there. And so we have the best time. Such good food. Good food. So so he is now the executive director of that housing, and he took it out from the hole that it was in, and now it's doing amazing. He's revitalizing that all those homes. Like he's just an incredible human. And so he's doing that even though he still helps me in my business. Like he does 2 jobs.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. So, okay. So, but how did you get into this space right here? That because being in the club business, then being, doing events, now, restoring this, being a first lady.
So many lives.
You
open, I know, you open that door. At the common thread through everything I've ever done is I love to shine a spotlight on people. I love to help connect people. A lot of things I've done in the past without even getting paid, I've made people a lot of money because I see something. I'm like, ooh, if you're connected with this person, this can happen. Or if we do this, we can highlight what your strengths are, and then your core clientele will see that. Now with social media, knowing how to show up powerfully, it's not about the vanity metrics. It's about the quality of the follower, right? So you can curate that community. So that will be on Thursday, you guys. But the common thread is I love people's success. If I can connect you, if I can make that happen, that's PR. That's in my DNA. So I was doing that in the nightclub. We would make our money from 12 to 2. So what did I do the rest of the time? Fundraisers for very powerful people that were running for office, judges. I would showcase people who were wanting to start a business, and I would be like, use the club. So if you want to do a fashion show, if you want to do this, you don't have to pay us anything. I just want to help you. And so it started there, that I would help them change their lives, like actually help them build their business by connecting, by using the resources that I had. And so, and I really before I would play that down, but there's no need to play, it happened, and that's what I'm good at. So with the shift in communication, I immediately saw, wow, you can get on your phone and you can share messages with people and you can grow community that's limitless. Holy crap. That means you can empower, you can create hope, you can connect people, you can build your network worldwide. What is happening? So I dove in, started to get really good at it. So when I was doing PR, I was able to highlight my clients who were paying me a lot of money, and media would pick it up right away. So I was getting them into magazines without even really trying to do it. It was just happening. But my heart was always pulling for the small business that was suffering, didn't know how to use that, didn't have the money for somebody like me. So when there was another shift in social media, and when that happened, when Facebook started to have video, and Facebook started to have events and stuff like that, that's when I was like, ooh, I can help small business. So I started to create content and manage and build personal brands for business. But what happens with that? There's no scalability. There's only so much of me. So what happens? You hit a glass ceiling. So then the next shift was doing what I'm doing now, teaching people how to show up powerfully, teaching people how to build their personal brand, and helping them understand that it has absolutely nothing to do with having vanity metrics. You are influential in your world if you are showing up to give value. So teaching people how to do that. And it's been amazing. So that the Institute has been, we're going on 3 years, and it's been a struggle to teach my passion is to teach boomers and Generation Xers. That's my passion. Boomers, Lord, they don't understand it, right? And they get frustrated. They're like, I've made millions, but I don't know how to upload a picture. And those are the ones I just want to hug and go, but you will learn. You will learn. You will learn. And then you're going to spread this wisdom in a space that needs it. So the combination of wisdom and emotional intelligence is, oh my God. And we haven't even started. Like our generation and older hasn't even started. So the space for it, like the real estate is open for our generation.
Love it. I love it. It's so powerful. Such a powerful message. I mean, I can relate to that from the perspective of my background of being an entrepreneur. Phones being hardwired, doing business, as a network marketer, belly to belly. I mean, live meetings. So this space really has changed the demographic to a large degree, but unfortunately, they've added the technique of the social media platform without encompassing the fundamentals that go with it. And that is, in my space, is the missing piece. So it's like you got the message, but learning how to navigate that through social media. So, so many times I think that whenever you say branding, like people go, oh yeah, but they don't, it's like, okay, so what makes you different? What makes you special? What makes you stand above? What is the conversation you can have that nobody else is having? I
love this question. I'm building purpose. I'm teaching people how to build purpose-driven personal brands. Why is that distinction so important? It's because It's about leading with value that you're giving those that need you. So every single one of us, it doesn't matter what we do, if we exchange dollars for something, a product, a service, like something, there is a tribe that you are the solution for.
Mm.
They don't know you exist unless you're showing up to share that transformation, to share the challenges in the shift. Like, you've got to be relatable at the same time that you're showing up to share value. Let somebody walk away with a quick win and let them always remember you. Be that person that people come back to get more. You become a resource. You become that guide for them.
Yeah.
All have a tribe. Like, we all have that. And also, there's something beautiful about like showing up in your truth and repelling the crap that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time with everyone. I serve everyone. No, girl, you don't. You don't.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. So, I mean, those ladies that are, listening here, like, what would be some of the takeaways that you would give them? I mean, we're going to be, you're going to be like training in the membership platform on Thursday, but like, if they're just watching today, what would be, one of the things that you would want them to walk away with from this interview? If they never saw you again, what would that look like?
Please walk away knowing that you matter. You matter and you're enough, and that is it. You have to stand in that, and you have to understand that all of the personal insights that you have, all those, the trauma, the challenges, the failures, all of it is for a purpose for today, to serve someone who you are going to decrease that gap of what it would take them without you.
Yeah.
So there's so much power in that, and you already have it. You already have it.
That's good. That's good. So now, I mean, like you, like so many women, I mean, like whenever, especially, you're talking about the branding aspect, and, that's that message I teach is just really talking about getting people to believe that they do have what it takes, that they are good enough, because there's so much comparitis, and social media so magnifies all that. And that was one of my reasons to start this group or this community, just because I wanted to create a space where women could believe in themselves. They could believe that their excellence, her excellence is typically the thing that she takes for granted.
Absolutely.
But it is the magic that everybody is attracted to,
gravitating to. Yep.
And they take it for granted because it's they don't recognize it within themselves. And so this is, I wanted to create this platform to create that mirror effect that allowed them to see themselves in somebody else's story, in somebody else's journey, to create that belief. Because I'm a firm believer that belief determines behavior. So how do you break through those barriers with women? Because there's a lot of layers that go with women in this space to really get down to, okay, what is that authentic you? How do you do that personally with them?
Well, this is the thing. You're absolutely right, because the thing that I spend most of my time on, especially on my one-on-one programs, is this intense fear of rejection and judgment. So when you're talking about social media, all they see is the whole world is going to judge me by putting it out there. So how do we do that? I first want them to write a vision story. I tell them, your vision story of what success looks like, feels like, tastes like, smells like. I want you to give me a story of a day when you've arrived. What does it feel like? What does it sound like? Go there. What did you just do? Did you just go shopping? Like, I want all the things of that day that, wow, it all came together. And then we're going to reverse engineer.
Okay.
So when that happens, and so when they go back like, no, I can't do that. Okay, well, all right, let's go back to your vision story. How do you intend to get here if you aren't showing up so that people know that you're there to serve them, to help them, which helps yourself get here.
Yeah.
So you're not asking anybody for crap. You are giving. You are a beacon for them, which builds you, builds your business, but it's already there. But it takes work, and you got to show up, and you've got to do it. So it's when you're clear with the destination, the journey, no matter how rocky, no matter how many roadblocks, it doesn't matter. You go around because you have the destination. You have the point of where you want to go. But every day you have to remind yourself what it is. So the exercises that we do is every single day. I always tell my clients, every single day, what I want you to do is I want you to remind yourself, like this year, we already reversed engineer. This year, what's the theme? Like my theme this year is systems and automation. That's my theme this year, systems and automation. My word is wealth. Wealth is, this is me. Everybody I coach does that. Wealth has to do with the freedom in being, not how much money is it for me, not how much money is in my bank account. If I feel free to be, if I feel free to go, I'm extremely wealthy.
Yeah. Good.
So that's me. Everybody else has their own journey, but you have to remind yourself every day. So every day on your planner, you wake up, you write your word, you write your theme. Because what happens is that then you all day you're working towards that because you're like, did I do one tiny little thing that was me living in my word and me one step closer to like making my theme happen for the year, my goal.
Yeah, got it. That's good. That's really good. Okay, so that's really good. So I'm looking forward to Thursday and what you're going to teach on. But so as we're getting ready to finish, what would you? I mean, because we've all been through the journey, right? We've been through the speed bumps of life, the peaks and valleys. What do you use, or what kind of tools do you cling to keep your thinking straight, because you have a lot of people coming at you, needing you, demanding your time, your energy. How do you keep yourself full?
Wow. So I have a morning ritual, and this started almost 3 years ago, and I have an accountability group. So my morning ritual is I wake up at 5 a.m. I meditate, I study. Now I just leveled up. I just challenged myself, and now I kickbox. And without fail, I give myself a couple of hours every single day. Nothing is going to keep me from my time to myself. Meditating centers me and helps me really tap into, why am I here? Who am I impacting? Am I making a difference? Where do I want to go? Who do I want to be when I show up? Today we had a little bit of a hiccup. I was like, oh my God, I am doing that because I've had, several different requests. And so what did I have to do? I had to cancel somebody I had a phone call with because I had to get centered. Like, I want to show up and give your community everything. I don't want to and be, all over the place, but you have to give yourself time for that. So I do that. How did I get there? Was with Robin Sharma's The 5 a.m. Club. I read that book and it changed my life. Mel Robbins' The 5-Second Rule. Just freaking do it. If you have a thought, write it down. Learn to get it out of here onto paper. You're more likely to do it. There is no idea that pops into your head where you get a vision that's a bad idea. That is God speaking to you. That's me.
Yeah.
Universe. So know that it's meant to be there. Write it down. And atomic habits, girl. Atomic, because as a creative, like I can get like, oh, that's pretty. And then I can get all over the place. Since I read Atomic Habits, like I compound my habits, like I get into, so I'm making stuff happen. So time blocking and all that stuff. But all those 3 books literally have changed my life and have helped me grow my business.
That's so powerful. That's so good. So the first one is the 5 a.m. Club.
Robin Sharma. Yes.
Yes. And then a 5-second rule, Mel Robbins. And then,
Atomic Habits, who is, what is his name? I forgot his name. I'm looking at my books. I have books everywhere.
No, that's exactly like me. I mean, if you saw my books on there, Anyway, that's just a
Just take a picture. I mean, it's crazy.
fraction. So, well, as we're leaving today, I really just appreciate you. I appreciate your energy. I appreciate what you were canceling your phone call so you could be here with us today. That's first and foremost. But you've just your energy, your story, the impact that you've made. I'm so happy to have you. I'm so happy that you made the time to be here and share your wisdom today. I can't wait to hear what we're going to be talking about on Thursday. So
5 C's to social media success. And I bring pen and paper because I give it all to you. So there is really no reason that you even need to hire me if you implement.
Okay. So I love that. So ladies, for the members on the platform, this is something that you might want to definitely tune into if you can. 12 o'clock Central, we'll be coming back here with Miss Giselle. Villarreal.
There you go. Thank you so much for having me. I love this.
Yeah, thanks so much. Well, I'm going to say bye to you privately. So, ladies, that is it for us today. I hope you all have a blessed, amazing day. This is my special guest, Miss Giselle, the branding coach. She's coming on Thursday. My name is Taylor Thompson. Tuesdays with Taylor, and you guys have a blessed day. Bye-bye.